call those faithful because it goes off like the same like time distance apart, like so every 45 minutes or something like that.
I was supposed to go there, but you know, COVID.
Wrecked
That's
that.
where we're supposed to go this summer. Here.
Okay, so we are going to go through the ones you guys had questions on.
November 18th is on Tuesday.
Wednesday.
I mean, that's just Sunday.
What's our question?
Tomorrow.
What? For a moment.
Oh, no. I would work with tomorrow at 8:30.
She's skipping.
Okay. So in number 20, I'll probably tell you right now what you probably did wrong was you didn't realize there was a missing power of x.
Oh.
So if you look, it goes 3, 2, 1, but we have to put a 0 term in. So like a constant or a value without a variable. So like a constant. So this is the coefficient here is 1, 8, negative 20, but then a 0 for that value, for that constant term. Then we take this and do the opposite of it. Drop down, multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply.
Wait,
Wait, so you're doing wrong?
is multiply?
Drop down, multiply, add, multiply, add. Oh, sorry. Okay, let me go back. So when we do this, we start off by dropping down the first one. We multiply 2 times 1, and the 2 comes from the opposite of this. So 2 times 1 is 2. Then I have to add these together. 8 and 2 is 10. Now I have to multiply the 10 times 2. That's 20. When I go to add these 2 together, though, it's 0. I have to multiply this times this. And 2 times 0 is just 0. And then I need to add. And this is going to seem useless, like the fact that we had zeros and zeros, but it makes sense because remember we named this going backwards. So this is the constant, it's the one without a variable. This is x to the first, this is x to the second. Wait, what did I do wrong? Oh no, that's the remainder, sorry.
Okay, that's what I was about to ask. I was like, how do we know?
So here's the remainder, sorry. Constant, x, x to the second, so this is x to the first. So the remainder and the constant, this one don't even exist. Oh, sorry, it should be b's. So it should be 1b to the second plus 10b. And that's it. There's no constant term and there's no remainder.
Oh.
I was so confused.
Now I got it.
Okay. All right, 33. The next one. So this is asking me so I should get a minus. Oh, really? We gonna do this one? All right. So a couple of things here. Yeah, it should be minus. Okay. So first thing, I'm going to start with our coefficients. But if you notice, we're missing a power of x. So I have to put that 0 in for the d to the second. There's our coefficients. But then remember what we have to do is I can't leave this the way it is. So I need to divide it by 3. So I can't have that number in the front. So it looks like a negative 2/3, but I'm actually going to put positive 2/3 over here. It's always the opposite sign of that. And I will tell you guys, when we test on this, you do not need to do one using this method. Or using, like, where you have to divide by 3 or anything like that to begin with. Anything like that, I would ask you just to do long division. So I drop down to 9. Now to do 2/3 of 9. I think it's easier to divide by 3 first and then multiply by 2. So 9 divided by 3 is 3 times 2 is 6. Not to add, 0 and 6. Multiply, divide by 3, multiply by 2, so that'll be 4. Add. Multiply, or divide by 3, multiply by 2, so that's 6 again. And then add. So this is, so we have our remainder, but then remember, we have to divide everything. Since we divided by 3 here, we have to divide all of these by 3 as well. So this is our remainder, our constant, our x squared. So it's going to be 3x to the second, because that's 9 divided by 3, plus 2x plus 3, and then plus the remainder over what we're dividing by. Sorry, I mean. I'm sorry, they should be d's. I always end up switching it back over to x. All right, 34. All right, so hopefully you noticed on this one why this one's a little bit tough. Is because when we do this, we have to write it in standard form. And these two are flipped. So when I do this, I want to write it so it's highest powered onto the lowest. So it should be m to the third plus 3m squared minus 7m minus 21. And then I get divided by m plus 3. So I just rearrange that. So now I'm going to write out my coefficients. And then I'm taking this one and changing the sign. So we drop down that first term. Then we need to multiply. Ryan, can you put that away, please? Add. Multiply. Add. Then multiply. So we get a remainder of 0. This is our constant, our m to the second. So it's 1m to the second. M is not there. You can write 0m if you want, minus 7. So there's no remainder. $36. $36 is another one with the dividing thing. Okay. So again, write out the coefficients. So 2, -1, 5, -12. There's no missing powers of x. Divide by 2. And then we have to do the opposite sign. So this is going to be 3 halves over here. Positive. 3/2 is nice. The 2 is cancel. We're left with just 3. Again, 2 is cancel. Left with just 3. Add. Divide by 2, it's 4 times 3 is 12. So no remainder. But then since we divided by 2 up there, we have to divide by 2 down here. Here's my constant, my x squared. So it's 1x squared plus x plus 4. And then we're going to do 40 here in a second.
Oh, baby. That's how old Mommy is. She's 40 and she's a high school junior.
Yeah, I'm just young. I'm young.
There was a movie like in the 90s, I think, where Drew Barrymore was like an undercover reporter in a high school, and she was like in her 40s. And she fell in love with her teacher. I think it was called Never Been Kissed.
How old is the teacher?
He was like her age.
Oh. I was pretty sure that. Oh, you said she was 40.
Yeah, so she was like a reporter. She was going into high school for, I can't remember why.
Oh, like college? No, high school?
Yeah, she went and pretended she was a high schooler. And then she fell in love with the teacher, but the teacher thought she was a student, and so he felt bad that he liked her, and it was really okay that he did, but he didn't know that, and so he was mad at her.
That kind of sounds like a good movie.
Well, and you're an actress, I don't know.
Yeah.
When I first started teaching, I'd get mistaken for a student, but not anymore.
Well, you're so tall.
Yeah.
You're kind of on the shorter side.
I was tall though in high school though. I was this tall in high school.
But we're like shorter in the school, I'd say.
I think once I had kids, then I stopped getting mistaken for a high schooler, which is probably okay.
Mr. Donahue was really hitting the high notes in his songs today. Like during the best part of the song, he sings so loud during it, and I'm like, I can't even hear.
Rocking out.
And then he's like, tell me when to stop. And I told him that this song that he's already playing was okay. And then he skipped it. So mean.
All right. Hopefully that you guys figured out what was going on if you did something wrong. And you probably did the same thing wrong on like all the problems then if you started doing something wrong. So we're gonna get ready for our test. Now I kind of put quotes around test because we only have, this is really only 3 sections we've done so far.
Wait, we have class tomorrow?
Yeah.
Hey, were you not listening before? She was thinking about how she's 40 and she said,
Yeah.
you know, a lot on her mind, like what to set the thermostat at, or what's for dinner. Isn't that what people over 40 think about? What the thermostat's at? Three men banned from Yellowstone. He sent me the link.
They're banned.
Temporarily banned.
I think that should be a forever ban.
Oh, the incident took place on August 7th. It happened on August 7th, but they were charged and pled guilty on September 10th.
Where did they bring the chickens from? Like, these are like live chickens.
I don't know.
All right. So if you guys didn't, like I mentioned this the other day, but we're breaking this chapter into 2 different parts, and we're actually going to do chapter 6 in the middle. So we're doing the first half of this chapter and testing, just because it breaks it up nicely, and then we'll do the second half later. Last year it fell around around the holidays, so it just made sense. But I ended up since I already had a test written on that, I thought it was a good section to just work through and test on right now before we start adding things that don't really connect completely to this. So our test will be tomorrow.
The hollow algebras.
However, feel free to bring questions. Also know that AR, you guys can still come get help. I have AR before lunch. You're still welcome to come get help from me if you guys need it. If you're struggling on anything. If that happens to be your lunch, you can always come in here and eat. You just have to kind of make arrangements ahead of time or just so we know what's going on. So just let me know if that's something you end up wanting to do. So in 5.1 is when we talked about all our different exponent rules. I'm trying to keep those separate. So we are going to do a Kahoot today on our exponent rules because I had it from last week. I know. You guys can actually beat her then.
She'll listen to this.
So our exponent rules. Now, just kind of in quick review of them, remember that we add the exponents if you're multiplying. You subtract them if you're dividing, and then power to a power, you multiply them. So it's kind of our different rules there for exponents. Now the coefficients get treated like normal numbers. So don't do anything weird with those. Those are just normal numbers. So -4 times 5, we just treat that as a normal number. -4 times 5 is what? -20. And then again, I'm taking the exponents and adding them in this case because it's the 3 and the 6. So x to the 9. Guys, please be off your phones. No reason to be on our phones right now. So the next one, again, when I'm doing this, we want to make sure we kind of ask yourselves that question, where are there more x's and how many more are there?
Oh, God.
So -2/8, how do I simplify that? -1/4. Where are there more x's?
Bottom.
How many more?
4.
4. How about the y's? Where are there more? 3.
You jumping the gun.
We're able to simplify problems like those. And going down here, we have negative exponents we added into it. Now remember, negative exponents, we don't want negative exponents. We don't want 0 exponents. So if they're negative, we move their position in the fraction. But we don't move the base with it. So the -3, negative numbers are okay. So we're going to leave that -3 where it is. But the m to the -2, what's going to happen?
1. Oh, m to the -2. No.
Yeah, it's going to become m to the 2nd, but on the bottom. How about the n to the 0?
That's 1.
That just becomes a 1, so it's like it cancels out. You could do times 1 down here, but we don't want to write the n at all anymore. Let's simplify that.
That's why I said y.
Sorry.
You were asking me all of them.
Wasn't quite there yet.
You just jumping the gun.
It's like your phrase of the day. I've said that twice.
I know.
All right, so now this time we're distributing the -2 in. How many times does it have to be distributed in here? Or just 2, not -2. But, so 5 to the -2 and x to what power? The 6. You multiply -3, -2 is a +6. Now what needs to move? The 5. So this 5 to the -2 is going to move to the bottom. Right now everything is on top. This has become a 5 squared on the bottom. And x to the 6 on top. And what is 5 squared?
25.
25. Now, if you try to do this with your calculator, I highly suggest not doing it with your calculator. Because if you put 5 to the -2 in your calculator, you get a decimal. And it's kind of like, oh, what is exactly that is? Or like, it's kind of confusing. So really just work with the exponents the way you know how to. So don't try to overthink it or use your calculator. It's not that I don't want you, I mean, if it helped use your calculator, I would say yes, but I don't think it does. Now, so we went from like regular difficulty to like this one, which got a lot going on here. What do you guys want to do first here? Distribute that 3 in?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to distribute that 3 in only to the parentheses it's near. So here. Now over here I have the -3. Do you want to move the negatives around here? A to the -2 is going to move to the bottom. B to the first is going to stay. C to the -2? Top. I move that around, make it a positive. Now we're going to distribute the 3 in all those places. So all of them need the 3. So this becomes 2 to the second, A to the third, B to the 6th, and C to the -9. And you might want to move that one up right away, but eventually we will. Now, the 2 fractions, don't let that bug you. Really, all that is a big multiplication. Everything's on top over these 2 values on the bottom. So, I'm going to kind of go baby steps here, so like, don't get annoyed with me for writing too much here. So I have -3, B, C to the second. 2 to the third is 8. A to the third, B to the 6th, and I'm going to move this C to the -9 to the top. And what's left on the bottom? A to the 2nd, yeah. And so if you're doing more steps than this, I just always have an issue with moving too fast and then someone looks away for a second and is like, where did that number come from? So, I have -3, +8 becomes -24, which negative numbers are fine on top, that's fine. How many B's do I have? 7. 1 and 6 is 7. How many C's? 11. And then if you're okay with looking at both of the A's right now, where are there more A's? How many more? 1. Now, if this isn't the order you have it in, that's okay. I kind of was just trying to do it where it made sense, but there really doesn't need to be a bottom of this fraction. Is that all right?
Yeah.
All right, why don't we do our scientific notation, then we'll break for our Kahoot. So, because our Kahoot is on exponent rules. Now, I won't give you one in the, if anyone did example 6, I won't give you one that has that extra exponent on the outside, so we want to just take that off.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry if you worked ahead. I didn't give you one like that. So take that little guy off there.
Bye.
So, if I'm multiplying scientific notation together, 1.2 times 9, I'm going to multiply. 1.2 times 9. 10.8. 10.8.
Wow.
Thank you. Times 10 to what power?
Is it actually 10.8?
I assumed you were just making up numbers. I think you're right, though.
Well, I just did it really fast, so I don't
That's
know.
good. I think that's right.
He's right.
Okay. Nice going. It sounded good. So, okay. 10 to what power? -4, because it's a -7, +3. But what's our issue here?
That's too much money to buy lunch.
Yeah, that's a lot to spend every day at lunch.
Chill,
So, well, that's what his mom would say if he came home and spent $10 every day at lunch. So, we need to make that number smaller. So this number needs to get smaller, which means this one has to get bigger.
we're spending $100.
No, $1.08.
I know, you just pulling your
She
leg.
only said small.
And then, how do we make -4 bigger? -3. Okay.
That would be a good going there.
1.2 divided by 4. That's 0.3,
Yeah.
right? Right? Times 10 to what power?
-5.
Yeah, 'cause it's like, it's the way you think about it if you flipped it over to be positive. So they'd be on the bottom, so it'd be a -5, a little confusing there. But 30 cents, not enough for lunch. So I need to make that number bigger. So this one has to get smaller by 1. So smaller would be -6. I'm gonna break for Kahoot.
Yeah.
I got 4 applesauces in my lunch today.
We talked about this already. I got 2, and then I got 3 on my desk already. Applesauce is the prize for Kahoot. It's gonna be very exciting.
What flavor?
Strawberry banana.
What?
What song? Is that from Melvin and the Chipmunks?
Yeah.
Sorry, I had a whole bunch of these and I was okay.
Oh, I saw all the answers.
The answers didn't show, the questions showed up there. Those-
Can we do a team one?
What does that mean?
Like you can pick a team?
You work with people.
Yeah.
I think it's okay. I think it's good for you to work on your own, just like you go on your test. Yeah, you can go behind Bennett.
Oh, that's a test would be fun.
Really?
I feel like what if everybody got
Have you seen the election like described that way, like waiting for election results is like doing a group project and waiting for everybody else to do their part, like your stuff. And then finding out that they blew it.
Ryan, who are you? Ryan, what's your name? Ryan, are you up there? That's the right one.
Oh, I cannot see this marker.
Lime green.
How many Ryans are up there? Oh, let's Ryan backwards. Ryan. Garrett, are you a Squirrel man? Wait, Maddie, are you a Squirrel man?
No. I'm not good.
Are you Greg?
That's great. Yeah.
Who's the squirrel man? Mine says Bravo Tango 7274.
That one doesn't work.
I don't know what that means. Hey, why are you kicking people out?
That was me. I'm only free.
Major city. The actual Ryan Mayo,
The Melon Man?
Ryan. Oh, no, what's that? We're all with Ryan. We're at 5. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
We have everybody?
We got 6.
We got it.
Okay, you might want, if you didn't say this, or you might want scratch paper or calculator, something like that.
I don't know.
Or whiteboard if you want.
Let's go. Let us go.
I want to know. So Melon
Hi,
Man.
Laura. How's it going?
Okay, I guess.
Okay, those of you guys online, sorry you won't be able to play live, but you can play along. It's fun.
Oh, yeah. We're not as good as Kinsey, that's why.
Oh,
What
yeah.
was the question?
It was classes. We ain't cheaters.
So the questions on the top, ignore the 4, and then all the choices are down here. Ignore the 4 in the front, like question 4.
Not the four.
No.
That's what I thought. I was like, oh.
Oh, shoot.
And out. Maddie, you have 3 seconds, go.
I already did.
I'm in 5th place.
I'm in 16th place.
The spoilers.
So yeah, like that number is like, don't worry about that.
Oh, that's what you mean.
That's what I meant, sorry. I didn't want you to think it was like multiplying or something.
But that says number 5 and we're on number 2.
Right, that's what I'm trying to say, ignore it. Okay? What?
What is? Oh. Oh, that's not the movie.
What?
Like,
You got it?
I'm not getting on the 40 right now.
It's definitely the Lion King.
It's the Grinch.
Oh, Shania, love it.
I'm in a love
Olaf is not the name of the movie.
When at first I was like,
Olaf
is like, whoa.
Sorry, Jordan.
You tricked me.
Oh, Shania, love it.
Oh my god. Multiply.
Well, yeah, it's simplified.
It's good. All the Drake and Josh theme songs are good. I don't even know why I watched it all the time. It's hard to realize. It's realign, not realize.
I watched that over.
On Hulu?
Yeah.
Me too.
But they aren't they missing like half of their solutions?
I have no idea.
Multiply.
My name is Maddie Hartman.
You can wrong.
I feel like the wrong choices are not very good at this. Ooh, sorry.
I might have picked the wrong place. Oh, yeah, wait, yeah, there we go.
My name is Abby. What? How did I get down?
Okay, so 4 times 2 gives us 8. So first of all, we're down to these two. B to the 0 cancels out. And then 8 to the negative 3 should drop to the bottom there, and the other B will stay on the top.
Oh.
Lifeline.
No.
It's cats.
Yeah. I hate that.
No.
You look at the choices. I was oh, sorry.
Cats is literally the.
You don't know the
I
American
actually
Child.
Yes.
You don't know the American Child.
Is that what the language as
A musical.
Did someone actually mention cats? Yeah, cats founded America.
They give you like a minute and a half for this, so.
This is right.
PQ. I don't know what I've been told, nothing that is very old. She's 40.
Alright, I think there's only, okay, there's 15. Alright, so in this one, guys, power to a power, 4 to the second gives us 16. And really, you could be done at that point with this one. But then m to the 6th, this is just gonna cancel, and then q to the negative 6, so that drops down to the bottom.
What place are you in?
I think 7. Because I'm too slow.
Oh.
Who's in 5th right now?
I don't know.
Definitely,
I feel like me. Like
Definitely,
a genius machine.
definitely Ryan, probably. He's all over the leaderboard. You're Squirrel Man. Oh, snap. Oh. Sounds like Pirates of the Caribbean music over there.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
Sounds like Pirates of the Caribbean, right?
What's that coming from?
It's the good music. I don't know why I got loud.
I thought it was coming from Missy Waller's room. I picked that.
Did you know that the library prints in color now?
It always has. You just need to be able to select that.
What?
Well, I printed off picture color and it's
Guys, make sure we're bringing in, please. I feel like we're waiting on somebody every time, and I don't know if you're doing other stuff. So, again, guys, watching out for some of these like key things. The fact that there's a 3 in this, nothing should happen to the 3. So, kind of using a little bit of deductive reasoning there, like kind of coming up with that.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Come on, like, do you live in a box? Like, how do you not know this stuff?
It was a board game in the first one.
It was.
I was just by the way. I've seen that one. Sounded fun.
I just thought that was so weird because you're talking about Pirates of the Caribbean and then it was there.
It was a choice.
It was like a sign.
How did I click the wrong one?
You're squinting too hard.
That'll show us.
I'm trying to. I'm gonna get fired back
You
up.
got it wrong.
Yeah, I got it.
Two questions.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Whoa, I did something wrong. Wait, wrong. I don't even know what I did. Come on, next time. Dude, I don't even say, I would guess it make
Green. You know those connect the dots games we used to play as a kid?
Let's go!
Wait.
I'm back again!
Yeah.
I'm in good place
So
again.
let's talk about it.
Woo!
I'm going to stump you guys. So, did you distribute the foreign first, or did you simplify the inside?
I did
Simplify
four
the
times
inside. And that's where I thought I went wrong.
Okay, simplifying the inside is probably the easiest way to do it by writing.
Actually, yeah, 4 times 2 and I got 16.
Oh.
Oh, I know.
Usually it lets me write on it. Okay, so on the top, you guys, the x to the -1, the x, really just cancel each other out. This is a 1 here, so these x's would be gone. So you'd be left with 2 over x to the 2nd, and then you distribute the 4 into the top and bottom. And that's how 2 to the 4th is 16th.
Hey, I have the highest answer streak of 13. Oh, snap. Let's just simplify first.
I think simplifying first is easier. You guys have like 2 minutes. That's not 4 seconds left.
Huh? Wait, what is the Pirates of Caribbean music like?
Okay, sorry. All right, so in this case, this one, the 2's cancel out, so there should be no coefficient anymore to begin with. The x's will also cancel out, and so the y's will all be on the bottom, and they'll be the 6th, and then you raise it to the 4th power.
One left. And I'm actually on the leaderboard for once.
Okay, so the first movie was released in 1977. The last movie in the series was released in 2019. So first movie in the series was released,
The last one ever
Like Star
or
Wars.
the latest?
the last movie.
Oh, you know,
I don't watch it. Star Wars.
Harry Potter,
it's actually
obviously.
the movie.
Alright,
Whoa, is that second? This is actually
Yay.
shocking for me.
Yeah, I
know.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
watch it.
I'm Roger. You didn't know that I looked at
alright, outside, so the actual Ryan and Laura as well. Hot cards are progressed, and so are applesauce. And then some are the bucket.
I found it was frosted cinnamon.
Alright, I got the one first.
They're all strawberry.
Two.
We got stick.
Okay, okay, so in section 5, we talked about polynomials. You were able to add, subtract, multiply polynomials. Guys, close up other stuff, please. And we're going to simplify and write in standard form. So in number 8, I'm going to distribute this negative in. And then combine the like terms, so I'm going to combine them in standard form. So I'm going to put those x to the thirds together first. So that's a negative 12 x to the third, and then 9 and 4 would be 13. Whereas in 9, we do some multiplying with a monomial and then combining like terms again. So careful with your exponents there. Back here, nothing really gets distributed, so it doesn't really change at all. I have 3x to the third, and x to the third is going to be 4x to the third. Negative 15, negative 2 is a negative 17. You should be able to do FOIL, the distributive property, so multiplying monomials and binomials. So here we have first, outer, inner, last. And in the middle, we can combine those like terms. You could also use box method or the rectangular method for that, depending on what you guys prefer. So it's up to you, like if you like doing that with the box method, that's perfectly fine as well. Number 11, same idea. You could use like this rectangular method, or you can use like kind of FOIL. So be careful of that negative 2. And then again, standard form. What's the big thing to remember with number 12?
Just kind of like two equations.
Yeah, two sets of parentheses. Yeah, I knew what you meant, but yeah. So 3x minus 5 times 3x minus 5. I can't distribute that exponent in. So now we just have to do FOIL. And then those middle two terms won't cancel on this one. I think she's outside and you can hear her. Like I think anyway. I'm gonna flip it over. Oh no, she's not. Like everyone must be moved over to one side of the room or something.
Oh, they do this thing where if you believe in one thing, you say that's right.
And then we do like the non-educational would you rather questions like that.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, they're educational, just that math.
so we're dividing polynomials here. Now, don't forget about the easy one that we learned with this. So number 13 is not long division, it's not synthetic. You see why?
What's on
Because it says simplified, but what else?
Oh, they're all confusing.
There's something else. What else is the key thing about this?
Then all divide.
Plus in the multiply, you use addition or.
5 or 6.
Because this is only a single term. This is a monomial. So since it's a monomial, I don't need to do the two key parts to it. I can just divide these all, by 6. So we're going to divide each of these. You don't have to write it out that way, but that helps. So 48 divided by 6 is 8. X to the 5th over x squared is x to the 3rd. Y to the 3rd. So I'm subtracting the exponents. Minus 6, 36 divided by 6. X. Y's cancel. And then plus 2, the x squareds cancel. We have y to the 5th. So then they want us to do long division on this next one. So on the test, I have you do just one long division problem. Because either you can do it or you can't. I mean, there's not a lot of in between. And then on the review, or like just like the review, I have a couple synthetic ones. So same thing on the test. The synthetic has a few extra things that we can, like the powers of 0 or the missing powers of x and that kind of thing. Oh, this should be a y, sorry. 2y plus 3. Anytime I change the variable, I always confuse myself. So long division. Divide those two. 10y to the 3rd divided by 2y. It helps to write it out. Like what we're thinking. So we have 5y to the 2nd. It's going to multiply back. I mean 15. Be careful, I have to subtract these two. Negative 9 minus 15 is a negative 24. Negative 24y to the second divided by 2y. This will be a negative 12y. Multiply that back. So negative 36y. So it's going to be 6 plus 36. So I believe that's going to be 42.
Mhm.
And finally, 2y divided by 42y is 21. Multiply that back. So that's going to be 63 negative. Oh, no, positive. Yeah. So this is going to be a negative 73 is going to be my remainder. That's our final answer. And then finally, a couple on synthetic division. And again, the synthetic, I'm not doing any of the weird ones where you have to divide by something first, kind of keep it simple. This would be one that you would have had to do that on, like this type of problem, so I would do long division on a problem like this. So synthetic, so the first one's a pretty straightforward synthetic one. The second one is the one where you have to remember to put that missing power of x in. This one, negative 3 over here. So drop down first, multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply. So I get a remainder of 0. There's our answer in that case. That one went in evenly. Whereas this one, I have to remember there's no x to the second here. Bless you.
Negative.
So I need to include that as a missing power of x. So you do the opposite sign of what you're dividing by there. Here's a remainder.
Faster.
So the homework, the last few questions, I want you to do both long and synthetic division for both of them. Just to practice both, and then you can check your answer that way. Okay? So that's like the only direction change. I would say we just stay in and get it done.
What if we just sit outside the window?
I don't know. Let me see. Yeah, I guess it would be okay. Yeah, if you guys go outside the window, if you guys want to sit outside, you can go outside the window. Don't go past this window. I don't know if this for past the spot.
What?
I am. I mean, that's good enough for you.